Hello, I'm Smudger. And then, matey, Mac is just staring at a wall. We're on a break. At Gardenscape, we're still putting the finishing touches on our expansion. Join the big railway at their older stations. We're able to join them at. It's right, Smudger. Anyway, we are reacting to Diplomacy, episode 10 of season 4 of Slice of Soda from Mr. Tanzik. Enjoy. Yeah.
The train, for its type, is the most powerful vehicle on land. And the engines of Sodor are the power behind the docks, industries, and branch lines that make up the world-renowned Northwestern Railway. These are the stories of Sodor. Times were good on Sodor thanks to the ongoing tourism boom. Every day, more and more holidaymakers visited the island, not just from the mainland, but all over the world. It was a real treat meeting so many foreign visitors, some of whom came from nations we had fought in during the war. I don't mind saying it was a huge ego boost that so many knew of us, all of whom said thank you for our exploits. Unfortunately, not every encounter was a pleasant one.
Construction needs flexibility. Software define it. With automation.
You utter blockhead! Get off my bunker! Get off you! You tell a German family to bugger off back to Bavaria, and you expect me to lay off? Are you delusional or just stupid? You didn't see the horrors of the Western Front like I did, Scar Louis. You didn't see our Tommies shelled with mustard gas. The Germans did that, and worse in the Second War. Gordon can attest to that. Don't rope me into your blunder, Stanley. What you said was atrocious. I thought you, of all engines, you know what they say about making assumptions, right? And before you ask, the reason why I would never say such slurs is because the Nazis built their regime on bigotry. Do you want to be like them? We may be on the way. Stanley's words were repulsive, but more repellent were the actions of those on the platform. They all chimed in to shame those poor people. If the porters hadn't shown up, they might have been lynched. Sounds like a perfectly good idea to me. Oh, disgraceful, disgusting, and despicable. Fine then, Mr. High and Mighty. Why don't you hate Germans? All right, I'll admit I didn't always have an enlightened view. Going into the war and advancing across Africa, I truly despised them. And once we entered Germany, I was thrilled by the prospect of putting Berlin to the torch. One day, we were transporting a group of prisoners. I saw one of them crying. To my shame, I wished to torment him and asked, "What are you scared of, Fritz?" In English, he replied he was afraid he would never meet his newborn son. I was thunderstruck by this. I had heard men on our side use those exact words after being injured. In that moment, he became, well, human. You expect me to believe that single conversation gave you so much of a turnaround? No, because it didn't. Throughout the rest of our time in Germany, I spoke to as many of its people as I could. With few exceptions, not all were the hyper-obedient genocidal drones we had been led to believe. In fact, when confronted by the horrors of the concentration camps, most were sickened. I also asked why they supported the Nazis in the first place. They all said the same thing. They provide unity and pride to a nation ravaged by war and humiliated by the Treaty of Versailles. And had the British and French enforced that treaty, the First World War might have been the one to end all the others. You must be thrilled by the current situation over there. Yes, I am. Keep Germany divided and weak so it can't start another war. Fizzling fireboxes. I didn't believe what I heard about you, but now, oh, spare me, Duncan. I am in no mood for you and your attitude. My attitude? You go off half-cocked. You know what? I don't care for your contempt. No one cares what a racist has to say, except maybe Sir Handel. He wants to see you have a crusty curtain right away. Did you know he's half German? I do. Yeah, that wasn't just a joke, was it? No, his mother emigrated here years ago. They're both very close. I may have suddenly come down with boiler rig. Oh, shove off, Stanley. Go and face the music. Dead man walking. Shut up. What happened? Sir Hando tore him off a strip and threatened to turn him into a generator if he ever talked like that again. Serves him right, the tosser. Popcorn the kettle yellow. What do you mean? You said we should hire all the snails when the French ambassador comes to visit. As a joke, I didn't say it to the ambassador, so that makes it all right. Does not, does to, does not, does to. You lads might want to keep it down. That's him over there. Oh, blimey, he's here already? Who's the man with him? That's our manager. The other one, you twit. That's Sean Hainsley. He and the ambassador are old friends. I understand His Excellency came to Sodor at our MP's invitation. You sure know a lot of gossip, Terence. Got anything else? Oh, yes. I heard there are surveyors poking around Tidmouth. The word is they're going to build a new branch line out that way. Why would BR do that when they're acting branches all over the country? Oil, supposedly. Fifi, rest there. I am terribly sorry. My dog so loves steam trains. That's all right. Your Excellency, I would like to introduce Bill and Ben. They not only helped rebuild this place, they've been instrumental in running it since we opened last year. It is a pleasure to meet you both, and I am pleased to see you again, Terence. What brings you here? Trackside inspection, Your Excellency. There were concerns the cliff face was starting to crumble, but I can report it's perfectly safe. Marvelous. I would hate for your efforts to be in vain. Fifi, again, I must apologize. Don't worry about it, sir. If you would like to follow me, Your Excellency, we have a special lunch prepared back at the office. Lead the way. Lovely meeting you two. Fifi, beyond. Mangy mongrel. Something the matter, Bill? He doesn't like dogs. Never has since that time one relieved itself on his wheels. Shut up, Ben. Terence doesn't need to know that. And neither does anyone else. So don't you go gossiping. I never gossip. Yeah, right.
Guess what? Learning is no longer in one set place or on one set pace.
All right, what have you done this time, Bruce? I've hidden a bomb somewhere in the yard. I promised 100 quid to the first copper who finds it. Ha ha, very funny. You are joking, right? Maybe. He is. The French ambassador's coming by later today. The police are checking to make sure it's safe. He's up at the pits now. Him and his dog. You mean his wife? That's not very nice, Bruce. I'm sorry, but you haven't seen her yet. I don't know how many times she was beaten with an ugly stick, but they should have stopped at 50. Hang on, I'm confused. If they're visiting later, how do you know what she looks like? I was at Wellsworth earlier, and so were they, their entourage, and their dog. Do you think it's weird for a Frenchman to have a German Shepherd as a pet? Now that you mention it, wait, what was that? The ambassador has a dog with him? I wasn't told about this. Why would you? Because I'm in charge of security for all railway locations the ambassador will be visiting. If he has a dog, this is a serious issue. Why? Quarantine. You can't just import dogs. Not until it's spent 6 months in quarantine kennels. Take it easy, Joey. Maybe it already has. Maybe. These visits are usually arranged long in advance. I'll have to make some inquiries, though. I truly hope this has been a simple communication breakdown. I must commend your dog, Mr. Ambassador. She's very good-natured around so much activity. She's used to it. We're both avid rail enthusiasts who love nothing more than watching trains bustle about. And I must commend you for your hospitality, Sir Topham, and your actions at Mount Severe. You know about that? My father served in the First World War. He told my brothers and I many stories, including that one. To be honest, that was the only time I ever heard him speak highly of an Englishman. I'm glad to have made an impression. Excuse me, Sir Topham. Good afternoon, Joey. I would like to introduce His Excellency, the French Ambassador. Your Excellency, this is Joey from the Railway Inspectors Unit. How do you do? Very well, Your Excellency. I wonder if I might ask you a few questions. What about your dog? I wasn't aware you would bring one to Sodor, and neither were any of my colleagues. Does this animal have permission to be in the United Kingdom? Of course, I have signed permission from your Foreign Office. Did she go through the usual quarantine procedure? No, she does not like confined spaces. She was examined by a vet in France and declared healthy. We sent a copy of this report to the British government, and your Foreign Secretary signed off on it. He said she wouldn't have to be placed into quarantine. Do you have this document with you? Not on hand, no. It's back in our embassy in London, but I would be happy to send for it. That would be very much appreciated, sir. However, until we've received confirmation your animal is here legally, I respectfully ask you keep her out of all public areas. I am happy to cooperate, but I don't much like the idea of confining Fifi to my hotel room until this matter is resolved. That could take days. She can stay on my estate. There's plenty of room, and both my son and dog were delighted having a playmate. Is that acceptable, Inspector? Very. Thank you, Mr. Hainsley, and thank you, Excellency, for your understanding. Not at all. Anything to preserve the trust and friendship between our two nations. I wish I could say matters remain that civil, but they didn't. The French embassy couldn't produce the ambassador's permission form. The foreign secretary also refused to confirm or deny he had given one. Hardly surprising, since if he had, he would have been breaking the law. To complicate the situation, Fifi disappeared from the Hainsley estate. The authorities tried to find her, but she proved to be an invasive creature. And just to hammer home things could get worse, a number of farm animals were attacked in the area. The media went ballistic. British tabloids accused the French of introducing a mad dog to the UK, while French op-eds called the British xenophobic. Then the politicians got involved, and the mudslinging intensified. A diplomatic incident was unfolding, and we had the displeasure of being at the center of it. Look up ungrateful in the dictionary, and you'll see the French is the definition. We liberate their country, and they have the gall to call us xenophobic? Those miserable cheese-eating surrender monkeys. I know, it's ridiculous. I'd like to see how tolerant they'd be if one of the Queen's corgis went on a rampage in Paris. Hey, we don't know it was Fifi. It could have been something else. And that something else began attacking the moment she disappears. Get real, Ben. It's not fair to say someone's done something when you can't prove they have. Very well put, Ben. You should be a politician. Don't even get me started on the political situation. This debacle has already affected trade. Ships that have left Brendan for France have had to return because they're refusing to accept them. And half this lot was supposed to go to France. Now it's being shipped out locally. I'll tell you what, if foreign relations can be fouled up so easily, maybe they're not worth the bother. If they do catch that mongrel, I hope they lock her up in a very small cage. Look, Bill, I know you don't like dogs. You don't? No, I don't. You don't need to know why, and no one needs to tell you. Right, Ben? Right. Anyway, I'm off. Have to get this lot to Wellsworth. Later. So how come he doesn't like dogs? Well... You think that's her? Maybe. How can we be sure? Fifi, her ears twitch, so it's a good sign. I think we should try getting her into Bill's cab. Hey, wait a minute. We can't do nothing. Suppose she runs off and attacks something else. I guess. Just make sure you don't get attacked, or that she uses me as a toilet. Will do. Right. Here you go. Come on, girl. Come on. Wait. French dog. She probably only understands French. You know any? Some Italian. Will that help? Yeah, I'm sure it will. Oh, bugger. Fifi, rest here. Fifi, beyond. What'd you say? I don't know, but it did the trick. Tell you what, you two stay here and keep an eye on her. I'll run down to the harbour and get help. Are you sure? No, we're not. That's why we're investigating. Investigating what? The Smudger Tribute published a story this morning about a child who was attacked last night. Fifi? We don't know. Like I told Edward, we're investigating. But even if it wasn't her, it makes no difference. Once we catch her, we may have to put her down. Put her down? Why? Because she's been on the loose for too long, and the attacks on farm animals have only increased in number. It might not be her. It could be a wolf. Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, did you want something, Bill? Why do you ask? I noticed you came in fast and with a rather focused look on your face. Not to mention you're running light. Ah, good eye. I guess you wouldn't be much of a copper if you didn't have one. Yeah, I had something to tell you. I saw a German Shepherd running towards Sudbury. What? When? About 10 minutes ago. She was moving fast. Bill, you should have said something sooner. I'll go check it out. You know, part of me hopes he doesn't catch her. I think a part of him hopes that too. Yeah, but you know, if any of us found Fifi, we wouldn't be able to do much since we don't know French. Douglas and I know a little. You don't say. Maybe you can teach me a few words. Like, how would I say, jump in my cab? Saute de mon cabine. Saute de mon cabane? Cabine. Cabine. Right, I think I got that. I better dash. I left my train behind. Could you tell Control I'll be late taking it to Wellsworth? No worries. Cheers. Bye. I thought I'd be paying blue before I ever saw a dog riding your cab, much less one you invited in. How'd you get your crew to go along with this? They're both dog lovers, and when I told them she might be put down, something I thought you'd be thrilled at, I don't like dogs. That doesn't mean I want to hurt them. If they do catch that mongrel, I hope they lock her up in a very small cage. All right, I said something stupid, so sue me. Don't say that too loud, old chap. Edward, what are you doing here? Confirming a hunch. Jump in my cab? Do you think I was built yesterday? I figured you wouldn't tell Joey. Since you didn't bring him, I'm guessing you didn't. Not yet. You mean you will? No, you will. You want me to fess up to a copper I lied to him, and that I'm hiding a potentially dangerous animal? He'll go balmy. No, he won't. He's not some truncheon-crazed Bobby. He'll be ticked off, no question, but he'll understand. He'll still take her away. That's his job. But he always follows an investigation through to the end. If he finds evidence she didn't attack... Phoebe! I'm real sorry, Joey. It's all right, Bill. I understand why you did it, and this may prove very helpful. Those two are wanted on suspicion of burglary. I don't think there's any suspicion about this burglary. Indeed, if anything, we should be thanking you and Fifi. What'll happen to her? We still have an investigation to conduct, which includes me interviewing you about your time with Fifi. Would you like to make a statement? Yes, I would. I don't believe she's dangerous. When she was with me, she didn't even growl. She was a lovely dog. Is that it? That's it. All right, I'll include it in the report. Be honest, Joey. Does she have any hope of coming out of this alive? I can't share details with you, Bill. What I can say is there is always hope. And this hope was rewarded. Fifi was proven innocent. A wolf had been responsible for attacking those animals, and a cat had assaulted that child. The embassy also turned up the permission form, which had been misfiled. Fifi was released to the ambassador, who promptly took her back to France. The foreign secretary had to resign as he was blamed for the entire debacle. Relations between Britain and France mended over time, allowing for trade to resume. I'm pleased to say that was the last time Sodor was at the heart of a diplomatic incident. I'm also very happy to say those rumors about a new branch line would be true, but that is a story for another day.